Hi, so I had to refilm this because I messed up some things. But today we'll be doing a Saw trap ranking list of all the traps in the franchise. Looks like. So yeah, these are one of the most iconic aspects of the franchise. So rank them. Like, do they have that little brutal pizzazz to them? Do they make sense? Are they interesting to watch? Do they have this a little bit of a psychological aspect to the trap? We will see. So, same thing, the tier names, my own. We have iconic, these are like the better, best ones. That are just, I think, are classics, ones I just really like. Pretty good. Step down from iconic, but like not too bad, these are serviceable. Could be better. Like, interesting idea, but like poor execution for whatever reason. Why? This one's not like why. I think I was like not even like this is gross and yeah. I'm liking this like the why am I seeing this in my eyes? This is so stupid. And then does this count? For like those like traps, they're like more like booby traps than traditional saw traps. Alright, so starting off, bathroom trap. Pretty iconic. It's the whole like gist of the first movie. It's like the more complex traps because it's once again whole film. It's like an escape room kind of, with these little clues, and then there's the whole like cutting out the foot aspect. Like it has this shocking premise which is executed well in the film. Basically, I think anything I say about the trap is extent to the movie itself. I love it. You got Lawrence and Adam and the trap figuring stuff out. It's just cool and stuff. Razor Wire Maze. Not my favorite of the traps in the first movie. I think the guy through the razor wire and like I guess would he like bleed out immediately if he ran out there? Because like I don't know, because he went too fast through there. Because he went pretty fast, I think. But yeah, middle tier. Sorry, Home Level Deli. It's not a rigged trap, but also like, how is he supposed to find out the code and stuff? The blog is like, yeah, he's. I think he was poisoned. If I remember, as a sample substance. Here, him, he's naked, fucking lost on the floor. It's like, wow, this is a lot. And then the code is like, would it be impossible to figure out? I don't know. It's like you have to think a lot, but yeah. I think so. Like this is before they want to say the traps are rigged. Like when Amanda comes in and rigs the traps in Saw 3, that makes sense. It's irrelevant to the plot, but like you get the assumption that these traps are like meant to at least like, be like somewhat theoretically survivable, but this just like seems like how would even the combination? Like there's hundreds of numbers. The timer would probably run out before you went through all the possible. But never mind all that. Reverse bear trap, the all scene introduced to Amanda Young, one of the most iconic characters in the entire franchise. It's simple, it's effective. It has the added like twist like would they kill somebody to ensure their survival and that whole thing. But yeah, it's a classic for a reason. It's one of the first things you think about when you think of Saw. Drill chair. I didn't really think this is like being a stereo trap. It seems like more like a sort of way to bait the police officers, being like, "Oh, this guy's in a device that will drill into his skull or whatever. We're gonna find the key." And I'm like, we don't know much about like why he's in the chair. So yeah, not really something that crosses my mind a whole bunch. Does this count? I don't know. Yeah, bottom tier. Also, I think a lot of like the traps that are like Jigsaw or trying to take down like a police force or like besides like Spiral or these like traps like those like the booby traps I'm putting in the bottom tier because like it does not saw trap. Somebody has saw trap. Sit saw trap. It's not just like meant to be like kill a guy. Like I guess speed to be smart or whatever, blah blah blah. You don't know, but this seems like straight up killing the guy. It gets some cool like effects, like the kill is pretty gnarly. Net to bottom tier you go. Zep's test. Got the poison in him, has to kill Dr. Bird's wife and kid. Might be some other people that be like, it was well, he's a hospital orderly, wouldn't they be able to try to contact them first instead of like something to kill? I think it's like mentioned that he's like a sadist or something, or he wants to like have control, so that's why it's all weird and freaky throughout the movie. But he does give us the best twist ending the franchise. Like, this whole thing is supposed to be like further. The whole thing is like to be a red herring. That's the whole point of like the testing. He gave us a cool ending. So I mean, it's all right. Not my favorite test in the franchise, but it is serviceable. All right, that's all for Saw 1. Now on to Saw 2. Death mask also sends the first bear trap. Something else on a person's head, but this time they have to harm themselves in order to win. This has the added bonus thanks to like eye related gore. I mean, it doesn't like go any. He doesn't have power with like stabbing his eye to get the key, but the from Salon is like, yuck. But yeah, I mean, it's not a reverse bear trap, but it's a pretty decent, nice way to start the sequel. So let's say it goes in pretty good. So we may put it in an iconic. Contemplated it for a minute, but it's a decent way to get things kicking. A nice little sucking moment to start off the movie with. Well, you know that you're in for something a bit bigger, bloodier, gorier. Electrified staircase. Yeah, pretty much. Meant to take it on once of the police force in Jigsaw's lair. Booby trap. Same thing as this one, to me. Nerve gas house. Like the bathroom trap, this is also like pretty much the plot of the movie besides the traps in it. But yeah, like the little sort of escape room it has some of the better group traps, the franchise. And I guess you can have to move up the movie like as a whole, like the whole thing with like how the recordings on the live stream isn't live, so recording, pretty effective twist. But yeah, it's like pretty iconic, one of the better executions of the group trap. Magnum Eye Hole. Not my favorite, to be honest. Yeah, it's like a little keyhole with the gun on the other side. Like I don't put it in why because like I don't feel like, oh, why is there why am I watching this? I just feel ambivalent towards it as a trap. But the furnace is pretty good. It's got some cool visuals like the hand coming, pressing on the glass from the inside, the fire thing pretty like brutal and stuff, and like the fact that there is like you can see a way for the trap to be beaten with the devil drawing the knob and like the tape telling him that like pretty much. So yeah, pretty good. Needle pit. A lot of people don't like needles. Many people cringed at this scene. It has, I think, solidified something like one of the more disturbing scenes in the franchise. But this is a big thing because it doesn't have a lot of gore in it besides the needles sticking out of her. But it's a common fear people have, so. And also, just like goes to solidify how much of a villain Xavier is pitching this woman. in this kind of like situation. Just like, and behind the scenes stuff with the trap is pretty cool too, with like how it was like filmed and stuff. I mean, all these traps like done, all the traps done practically was like pretty cool. So props to that. Love practical effects. Razorbacks. I know a lot of people give Addison flack for not like looking in the paper, but there's like this obvious sign or whatever you could have seen to survive, but like she was delirious on the nerve gas, her mind wasn't working properly, so I will cut her some slack for that. I mean, I guess it's like not my favorite. The gore is pretty alright, but like it's also, I mean, it's alright, I guess. I actually really don't know what I should call this like to be honest, but I'm just keeping it how it is. Classroom trap. This guy got the hooks through his body, one in the jaw, arms, etc., to pull them out, to get out. Doors bolted set so you can get out. Rig trap to introduce the idea of the rig traps in the movie. Saw 3. They mentioned that the door being locked has the evidence for his trap being rigged, but I think it's more the jaw, how they do pull it off, because that would, I'm pretty sure, kill him, I think. I mean, it's an okay opening. I think that the next trap, the angel trap, does a better job at being an interesting rig trap. The visuals, the brutality of it. One thing that sucks is that they kill Detective Carey so early, but there's the best traps, like visually. The image of when the trap goes off and she has her arms just like being stretched out into the air as the wings go off and you can see the ribs exposed. It is brutal, but oddly beautifully shot as well. I feel like it's got that classic Saw green tint to it too. We love the Saw green tint. Mwah. Sock and collar. Now, I would put this lower, but I'm really bad because I really love the whole subplot with the Amanda it's on, and this is technically part of it, part of her test, and also the kill at the very end is nasty. Yeah, poor Lynn. She really did not deserve to go through all that. But I guess if you're like a doctor in the Saw universe and you cheat on your spouse, you're getting Saw trapped. You are getting Saw trapped. Be careful out there, doctors in the Saw City. Freezer room. So I feel like a lot of like Jeff's test, he's just pretty slow. It's like Saw 3. Like what I said, it's just like kind of hard to watch. Like it's like it does not make the best decisions during traps. Like it like thematically is important. But I don't really care for a lot of like those scenes. This has a cool concept. Like the slave freezing the lady is pretty like decently brutal, but I do not care for it too much. Hold on a sec. Alright, I am back. So yeah, for the thoughts of cotton color, iconic. I just like it, like the visual of it. It's simple but effective. Alright, pig vat. This one is gross. This is nasty. Guys in this big vat, these pig carcasses are coming down, being blended, slowly drowning him. Jeff has to burn his kids' toys to get the key out. So there's an added emotional aspect to this trap. It's, I think, happy that they sort of decision, which would like be pretty tough for somebody situation. So there's like that sort of dilemma there. Also, it's nasty, so props for nastiness. What's like the point? I'm thinking a bit above the freezer room for those two aspects. Alright, then we have the rack. This one's the one where the guys' arms are getting twisted, limbs are getting twisted. It's hard to watch the performance is just like brutal. The pain of the trap. It's just like I'm gonna top tier for that reason, for being so effective, even if like Jeff does mess it up and ends up killing 2 people, accidentally shooting the judge and failing to rescue, failing to save Timothy because he like takes long deciding, and by the time he's got the key, his head is twisted around. So it goes on for like so long. It's just absolutely brutal scenes in a movie that's already full of hard to watch scenes. Amanda's test. Biased because I'm thinking of Amanda. It does suck that they killed her off so early, but I think the whole ending is the decent twist. I think the whole emotional aspect of Dick Simon is like Bond and how it devolves throughout time is something I think we need to like explore more of the franchise. It's just like, and the acting's nice. It does like when she's like breaking debt and she breaks down at the end and realizes that like she isn't the Jigsaw for like John for his philosophy. Good scene, I felt I think pretty good because like by proxy, like putting the whole like scene, the reveal, twist. Like I sort of count like my feelings towards like I guess the characters. So Amanda Bynes means she somehow gets put over stuff. It's like someone asked me to explain why I put the test from the twist that I like the most in the franchise over the test that's basically the twist that I don't dislike, but it's not like Saw 2004 levels of like, oh my god. Don't ask. I'm just like working on like impulse here. So it's like my unfiltered thoughts that make zero sense. Jeff's panel test. I mean, it sucks they killed off John so early, so I guess maybe could be better. Why didn't I put John and Amanda's like their perspective, like traps that end up in their demise, or tests that end up in them being killed in the same tier? Once again, don't ask me. I literally have no idea. Mausoleum, yeah, don't really care for that trap. Not really anything to say about him about. Got some speak no evil, like see no evil type symbolism going on, but like we don't know what people are there. It's just like used to sort of introduce art blank success lore. Like it seemed like, oh my god, it was that guy from the trap at the beginning of the movie. I don't care for it. Scalping seat. Got a close scene to this in at the end of this part, but not about like the sort of opposite rig trust. This is one of my like least favorites from his whole subplot. Bedroom trap, pretty good. Like the victim in the trap is reprehensible for his like these assault and murder of various students. Like there's this like symbolic element of there. It's got some pretty nasty like effects when he gets like hacked up by it. The red lighting's pretty cool. Also like Spec Trap, similar reasons, like similar reasons where like the meaning behind the trap is pretty cool. It's like she has to, like remove herself literally from her abusive husband in order to survive. It's pretty effective. It's one of those traps like in the movie where like the like so rigged that he has to let these people like save themselves, and she does save herself. Similar to the other ones in out here. We don't know how much this one counts as a trap. It seems more like a way for Lindsay Perez to get taken out of like the movie. She survives in Saw 6, it's revealed, but it's like more of a way to like move that part of the story along. But hey, hey Billy, what's up? Knife chair. It's a fail trap technically. Like I guess the premise is decent, but since you don't see it really fully work, I feel ambivalent about putting it any higher. Also, I don't care what I don't care what the list is. We'll say this is the first trap Jigsaw made in the entire franchise. Don't want to acknowledge Jigsaw, but I'm gonna have to acknowledge Jigsaw, which sucks for everybody. Spine cutters. I don't know what this does. Like, it's a trap, so I don't like can't actually. This is a trap thing. I'm like, why? Because I don't really care for. I mean, nah. I don't actually know. So you are stuck in the between duck in this spot. Yeah, spine cutters. Also, like, why? Like, I don't know. It's obviously so that art was like art. Like, was a red herring. Like, death was. Like, I don't know what this trap would like do. And I don't think much about it. It's like literally like just like a brief like sort of reveal. Yeah, I don't really. I select trap. The kill is pretty cool. Like, I think ice being used as a murder weapon in this movie is really creative, and the result it yields are brilliantly messy. Pendulum trap. Oh boy, I do love a good Edgar Allan Poe reference. Got it, because that one. Sorry. But yeah, I think this is probably pretty good. Good way to open the movie. It's a very trap, so I think people like tend to in these rankings rank the rib traps lower because like they're not fair and stuff. But at least like I just base it off what I like. I like this opening. It's at least going to get us started off. So pretty cool. Wait, the pendulum stuff is pretty cool too. Water cube. Just a lump the way that Jump gets out with the trick out of me being one of the smartest decisions in the franchise. And the opening, like, side of the trap being, like, the really well shot. Like, it's, like, the trap, the box being lit up, and it's just, like, the blackness in the background. This humbly gets put in the top tier. It's an awesome scene. Okay, we love to see people being smart in a saw trap. We love to see it. Satan chair. I guess it's like a scene where Jigsaw blackmails Hoffman. I don't know. It's a sort of a test, but never really thought of it as much in the trap category or test category that I did, like, a sort of. I mean, I don't know. Not to the canon of the Hoffman plots in this movie. So a lot of them I just go, what's over my head? I feel like these three all like in the category of like could be better because like for a lot of these there's obvious ways they could have survived. It's like the premise is interesting. Like about 5 people how they like work together to survive, but like there's some points in the movie where it's like a lot of people could have figured this out before like the gyro trap at the tunnels. I think probably by looking at it you could tell that more than one person could fit inside of the little tunnel things. So yeah. But you may notice that I did not test Pints trap right there because this is pretty good. I think it does have the flaws of the whole subplot failed 5 trap, and I think how brutal it is and like the way it's done is pretty good. And with the glass coffin, which I think comes in like tandem with this. I mean, the second half of the twist with the Sturman Hoffman, pretty cool. Like I wouldn't put something iconic since I think my favorite. But I think like the whole thing with like Strong getting across at the end is like a pretty nasty way to cap off the movie. Sucks there's only the protagonist for like 2 films before getting killed off, but at least he went off in one of the better traps. Panda Bliss. Saw 6. I'm starting off Saw 6, baby. Oh my god. What happened? Okay, yeah, iconic. I love all the traps in Saw 6. I think they're pretty neat. The performance from the actress there is pretty cool. I like her character. It's like, later on, she's just like, I cut off my arm, but I didn't learn anything. You guys are crazy. This whole thing crazy and stuff. The added sort of social commentary that will be a part of this movie being brought up like the financial crisis, housing crisis of the time. I believe is what's being addressed in this trap. The simple like premise of like donative, like they have to give away a pound of their a certain amount less to tip the scale their favor. It's like it's like one of those like the victim trap. It's an effective trap that has a brutal body mutilation that must be performed to win. But yeah, it's a great way to cap off to start off the movie. A lot of Liam's traps, they're pretty cool. I think like the thematic relevance, like how it calls out parts of his policy for being corrupt, are cool. So after the Crester, this one is pretty good. The way the scenes filmed is effective with like the being mainly silent, having to hold their breath as long as possible. There's a bit of like I feel like the janitor guy has an unfair disadvantage, but he's a smoker. His lungs won't work as well, so he's not gonna make it. But like I think the way the scene is done is pretty well done. Also, yeah, Gallo's pretty good. Or like the emotional aspect, like having to decide, like he said, like who to spare and who to let go of and let get killed. Who gets killed in the trap. But yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't feel like putting any of these in the lower tiers because they're all pretty effective in what they intend to do. So by proxy, Steam Maze goes in there too. And of course, how can a napkin sucking carousel in the first tier? It just so well done. The performances are like really like when they start like arguing and stuff, and something when the lady starts obviously like lying and everyone calls her out on it, and the symbolism behind it, the visuals of like the when you first see the trap, like it's the overhead shot of them sitting around, it's like the cooler visuals in its entirety. The whole scene is just iconic. Love it. So it gets top tier. Yay. So Acid Room. This is like the reveal from. I mean, it kind of sucks that Liam was killed off. Suddenly, listen, got killed by Roger Cuffley. The gore was pretty like good and one of the better like kills in the movie, but the ending's just like kind of alright. I think actually no, I made it to like pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. This is all over the place. I'm like changing my decisions a lot, but you know what? Congratulations, Saw 6. I like a lot of your traps. And then we got the Bear Trap 2.0. Now, it cannot be her. It cannot be the OG. But we do get, like, the fact that still targets someone up on Hoffman is pretty cool. I like things he deserved better. And props to Hoffman, admittedly, for having that total ballsy move to get out of the trap and win. It's like, yeah, I mean, Pat Proxy was a good at. It's like, I like the ending to Saw 6, so, you get into pretty good too, and I realized that a lot of this is Saw 6 traps in that category. And now on to Saw 3D, because we're into the better traps, so on the traps I don't really like complex execution. Like, what's the point of this trap? It has, like, against the weird, like, sexualization of the female characters that this movie is so maligned for. Just, like, the way you're, like, harnessed happens to, like, press against her chest or just emphasize her boobs. I mean, the idea of a saw trap in public could be interesting, I guess, but like we don't know why it's really happening. The script does reveal that like I think like Jigsaw was watching it the whole time, but in the finalized project, there's no reason for it to be happening other than like being like a shocking opening scene. I can't even really put it in the could be better category because I just don't really care for this movie or this scene at all. Pain Train, also similar why Dream Sequence. This franchise this franchise never had a dream sequence. This is a cop out. The effects aren't too great. The whole effects in this movie aren't too great. The fact that like she's like wearing sexy lawns or ever being chained up and then sliced in its pieces feels weird. This whole movie feels weird. Alright, horsepower trap. I feel like this one. Don't get the movie, but like it's an interesting concept. I think the effects are done pretty well. Well, that's pretty well. This is like basically a way in the plot to like further the whole cop and police thing, but I'll give it some points for being one of the better traps. Like, if it was like a better movie, I probably would feel like more inclined to like it. A lot more of a trap. Crappy effects. I do like the scene where the lady Simone from Saw 6 tells the lady that, yeah, why would you go through a saw trap before you realize that your husband, like, or your boyfriend or whatever, sucked. But, it's just like a few seconds. Don't care for it. As you can see, I'm obviously a big fan of Saw 3D. I love Saw 3D. I totally don't dislike a lot of the traps in there. Suspended kids. I mean, it just like feels like, I guess, like, yeah. It was like pretty easy, I guess. Not much of any stakes or cool gore or symbolism or cool stuff here. Silent Circle. I mean, it's the effects aren't great, but the premise is sufficiently nasty enough for me to put up a tier from the Y category. I don't care for the execution, but just how hard it is to watch gave me a little boost. Had to be a boost up. Impalement Wheel, also similar. I think could be better. I think it's like, yeah, I'm ambivalent on it. Eggman's News. Having like a trap be like somebody being like guided through a room by somebody's words, like saying guiding them through the steps of how to get out is pretty cool and stuff. But alas, I mean, not a great movie. I don't really have many. Like, oh wow, this is totally awesome or good. So, go. Wisdom Teeth. I guess this came from, I guess, I don't know. I mean, Dave's stuff is pretty hard to watch, but this does not really for me Saw Trap in the way a Saw Trap, especially Saw Trap. It's brutal, sir, but not. That's all I can say. Really, Brazen Bull. Poor Joyce. She did not deserve that. It gets one of like the most mean-spirited deaths in the franchise for having a crappy husband who lied, and she did not know about the being a lie, and so she's addicted to what this. Like, it's brutal, but not in like the sort. But doesn't have much of the things I enjoy, but other Saw traps. It's just like part of the film's all the cruel treatment towards the female characters. And like before people get on to me for that, a lot of people have commented on that as a criticism. I'm not the only one. Sensory Gun Trap. See basically all the leads right here. It's nice seeing those like cop guys get put out of the movie because I don't like them, don't care for them. But does it count? Similar. Red Trap 3.0. Okay, could be better. The director going off is pretty nice to see, like effects wise, but the way Zeltsuck was handled to be like after being like a total badass in Saw 6, managing to get one set of Hoffman, having her like be like brutally beaten by Hoffman, and then like why does Hoffman keep surviving a whole bunch? Like I know in the Saw 3D, like we're just then probably got his karma by getting locked in the bathroom. Like execution is pretty cool. The idea is like pretty cool of having the trap go off, but like the whole movie around it and stuff. It's like, Zeltsuck, you deserve so much better than what Saw 3D gave you. And also the pink blood thing being on like display here, like the ultimate effect. And the way it's filmed is like, I think the background's all like cluttered with all these like objects and stuff. It doesn't have like the same pizzazz the OG Reverse Bear Trap scene did. It looks cheap. Buckaroo, Jigsaw. I don't really care a lot of traps in Jigsaw. It's an interesting visual, I think. It's like sort of similar to the Nectar Trap, where it's like it's an easy sort of goal to get out, just to give it a little bit of blood, no matter how small. Yeah, even if this is used to end up being part of like the weird bad reveal, I don't really like that much. I mean, concept is interesting, I think. I do not remember a lot of these traps too well. Chain hangers. Also, I feel like, yeah, the syringes, I think some of the syringes and stuff could be better, I feel like. I think, but like. So yeah, it's a tear down because I don't really remember this. And the fact that I remember a lot of these traps says my opinions on this movie quite well. So yeah, not a big fan of that. Leg wires, I think this is part of the grain silo traps. So it's like, yeah, you have to like put these together. They're sort of the same, but like the drowning the grain silo, just the long before the weapons come in. I think just the grain itself, because that is something that in real life it has been fatal. It is creates so that's like effective in that way, and then like having to cut off like a limb thing. Like I guess would be if it was executed better, I would like it more. Cycle trap. Remember that one much, but I think like some of the visible aspects of it are like okay. Like I feel like if some of these like in a better movie or whatever, I put this down because I don't really care for these second keys. I feel like Jigsaw coming back to give like a little clue, like his cameo. The movie may suck, but I mean, at least they brought Tobin Bell back for a flashback, like the key to freedom. Like nowhere near as effective as like the safe place line or the devil clue in the furnace trap. But if it was in a better movie that made more sense, I would be more lenient towards it. Laser collars, the effect when it goes off, just make them look like one of those like Stranger Things monsters with like the little flowery head things. The whole twist is stupid. I don't care for it. Like why? And hold on. Okay, yeah. Subway trap, spiral. But a lot of traps in spiral like could. It's like a pretty good way to start out the movie. I don't really care for spiral too much, but like there's a nice bit of symbolism with like the Higher Dark Powder's like tongue because he lied about things. It's a decent enough cold open, so like I'll probably put it down a bit actually, not too keen on it. Like I said, like yeah, this one as well. Nice bit of like brutality in there with the sort of Chinese finger trap sort of thing, like ripping off his fingers. Is probably one of the more like I think that's what I get. That's what I think when I think this trap. So it's these traps aren't executed the best, I think, but some of them are like I mean they could have been executed better, I think. Alright, then we have the box trap. Which again also I think like pretty brutal. Like, yeah, severing a spinal cord is one of the more like intense aspects of like getting out of aspects of like, I guess like one of the intense like ways of escaping the trap in the franchise. The waxing is pretty like disturbing. I mean, it's not something I dislike, but it's not something I like either. Really, Glass Grinder, we're like, and just like glass giving, not really anything to write home about to me. The visual of like the puppet thing is pretty cool. I mean, the ending wasn't like the best, really, the whole twist and thing, but it's a decent. The trap test thing is like decent. I think. I feel like I'm putting most of these traps in Spiral too high for some people's liking, but this is the ranking in the movie. This is the ranking of the traps. So, all right, we're at the last movie, guys. Yay! So, I vacuum Saw X. It's this imaginary trap, and it was a lot of promo material. Pretty good. Good amount of like the. For how slow of a burn Saw X is, it's a nice little taste of the violence to come, just to get these good little freaks psyched. Like the visuals are the way it goes back to like the Saw editing and like the camera moving all fast and stuff is pretty cool. It's like a nice way to bring back. That's sad that I think about it. Hold on. Pipe Bomb Trap also pretty good. Nice to see a character like survive a trap in the films. For once after a while. It's slightly started to survival. The particular effects are nasty, which I could say for all the traps in this movie. Yeah, pretty good way to start off the main trap plot. Valentina's trap is just, I would say it's iconic. The acting, the brutality of it. I feel like a lot of these traps you could like mention like how unfair they are with like you have to slice off your leg and then put your thing in your leg stump to extract the bone marrow. Yada yada yada. 33 minutes or whatever. But yeah, I just kind of like this scene was effective. It was done well. Brain Surgery also I would say is like iconic, much like this Francis's previous scene in the Brain Surgery. This one was hard to watch. But a little bit more than the Saw 3's Brain Surgery scene. This was like more thankfully done with more professional equipment. But still a concept pretty good. I said it's probably a bit of that too. I don't think it's as good as Valentina's Trap, but it's still pretty effective. Radiation Trap also probably one of my like actually pretty good, yeah. I think what I like about this one is like more about what it means for like Amanda, who connects with Gabriella through their like shared. They're both drug addicts, or Amanda was a drug addict. She sees herself in Gabriella. And I feel like seeing Cecilia kill Gabriella, even though she's like. Okay, sorry for the interruption. The recording limit stopped for a bit there. But I was saying was, yeah, Amanda's sort of, I think, like descent that we see in like Saw 3, where we start speaking rigged traps. Like, I think that Saw 11, if they explored that and that we'd been able to take. But yeah, that's like. I think like the like trap means for like Amanda is pretty interesting. Bloodboarding, I think, is a pretty like. It's like probably, yeah, it's pretty good. Like the whole thing with like the kid taking the brunt of the trap to help John, and then John going back taking the blood for having himself covered in blood and nearly drowned in it for the kid. It's like, yeah, it's a real part of the plan, and that they really like, yeah, there's the bloodboarding trap was part of their plan. Tabs on put into it, despite the fact that having the kid get put into it was not part of the plan. It still works out well, and I think the ending with them walking out with the little boy after giving him to steal his money is pretty like nice. It's like good to see like a character in this franchise like get a happier sort of ending, or at least as happy as you can get for these types of movies. Gas chamber, I don't know. Like I think like this one, I sort of want to see what happens next with Cecilia before I really full opinion on this, because I think Sienna Decker saw 11, but the fact that it's let off so easy compared to her accomplices like being like the main antagonist. They're planning some more with her, I think. And then the last trap we have is the disembowelment trap. I don't even really know what this does. It's a cool post-credit scene, I guess, but it definitely counts as a trap. But we don't know what it does. We don't know how it works. There's too little information on it for me to have a full opinion. But it did give us the line of Hoffman saying epic dialogue, which I think is pretty admittedly funny. But yeah. So we have it. The full, my opinion, personal Saw Trap rankings. Yay.